Hello and welcome everybody to our Christmas special. I'm just gonna prattle on here forever about poker chips, so buckle up if this is the kind of content you want. Let us know in the comments below, and if not, just watch as long as you can and then you can just skip the video. But we're gonna compare Blue Chip Company chips to Paulson obsolete casino chips. So some of these Blue Chip Company chips are casino chips, some of them are not casino chips. But I think all of these Paulsons are casino chips. We have house mold, RHC mold, THC mold. So we're gonna have a look here. Now, let's play a hand first and foremost, because why not? Should we use some, no, let's use some Grand Card. Let's use some Blue Chip Company chips. And we'll go from there. Then we'll talk about, this represents a pot. Obviously, we're not playing for anything. We're just, it's fun to include the chips in our games. We're playing some Copag. Here's the box. Copag, 100% plastic, almost in focus playing cards. Guaranteed to almost be in focus. All right. So they're plastic. I like to do, I've heard like 4 different names for this shuffle. I don't even know what to call it anymore. I still just call it weaving because that's what my dad called it. So I don't want to be, if experts, when experts chime in, listen to the experts. I am in no way an expert. I just really like cards. All right, we're going to include Jane Doe because I really want to beat her. It's all right. Just because she wins all the time doesn't mean I can't occasionally get a victory. And today is going to be that day. Do you like my poker face right there? Yeah. I don't give anything away at the poker table. Yeah, right. All right, I own this. I'm all in. She's folded. There's no way she's, because look, I have the ace of diamonds right there. There's no way she's going to beat that. You see? No way. Cue evil laughter. All right. I am not an evil villain. I'm not smart enough to be an evil villain. Okay, let's put these away. So, these chips, do you like the Grand Card Room chips? So let's talk real quick about Blue Chip Company before we dive into Paulson and do a little comparison. So this, I'm not sure if this is going to show up, but this is what I call the sun mold. All right. I've heard people call it different things, like weird things. Someone I was talking to, it wasn't one of my dad's games in Nevada was like, that's the spur mold. I'm like, spur? I'm like, you need to go back to San Antonio, man. It's like Dave Robinson is retired. So, yeah, so I call it the sun mold. And then they have a no mold, which they use in their commercial chips. This is a promotional chip, you know. So this is a no mold. And then they have the fire mold. Fire mold, flame mold. Flame mold is what I think what it's called. People call it the shell mold, whatever. They have hot stamps. They have the oversized inlays, and they have the normal inlays. These are still large inlays. So either way, there's a variety of blue chip. I have more. They're buried in boxes somewhere, but these are the three that I'm going to represent today. And there are differences between these. So let's dive into that. Garden City Casino, obviously. I love California. The colorways of California chips, they're just so unique. They at least were. Anyway, let's move this huge rack out of the way. Let's do a little weighing. It's always good to kind of understand what's going on here. Actually, before we do that, let's dive into some of these Paulsons real quick. Let's see what we have. I'm probably not going to do. Here's some Beau Rivage chips. Some Jack. These are pretty new. Jack Cincinnati. Some Top Hat and Cane. We want Top Hat and Cane. Do you want new or old Top Hat? Let's do the new ones. Why not? So here's some RHC mold 25s from Cleveland. Horseshoe Cleveland. Yeah, let's do that. We don't need, here's some 5s. These are also RHC. So we have RHC, THC, good enough. Should we do a house mold? Let's do a house mold. Should we throw in a premium? Paulson premium? Maybe not Paulson premium, not today. All right, so let's do these 3. Yeah, all right, so this looks fine. So here we go. We have, this should be okay. All right, so you can see the difference between, so the 25 is what they call an RHC mold. If you're not familiar, that means that the hat comes all the way out to the edge right here, and there's a tiny little lip right there that chips away really easily. These have a different wear pattern than the THC, top hat and cane mold. And you can see there's a little molded ring around the outside to protect that hat mold. And so these are, you could argue, a little more durable. And just talking to people on PokerChip forum, it seems like the THC molds are a little more desirable. That's just the sentiment I get, and that's just my opinion. So you can let us know what you think about that. And then obviously you have house molds, where they just mold in the name of a casino or hotel, in this case the Beau Rivage. Biloxi, Mississippi. Awesome. All right, so let's weigh these and just compare. I'm going to do all the Paulsons, and then I'm going to do all the BCC, the Blue Chip Company chips. Blue Chip Company is owned by Paulson at the moment, or at least it's under the same umbrella company. What is it? I forget the name of it. It was bought out recently by a Japanese company. 9 grams for the house mold, 9.5 for the top hat and cane mold, the THC mold, and RHC comes in at a whopping 7.9, so 8 grams. So very different. So 8, 9, 9.5. All right. And you can see the Beau Rivage has the large inlay, and then this has the smaller inlay, and this has the larger inlay. And the people who care like about, 5/6 inlay or the 5/8 or the 1 inch or the 1 1/4, or you can chime in below, but this is just a general comparison. I don't want to dive too much into just technical nerdisms and show tables and stuff of all the different cards. Well, we're going to just keep moving here. Garden City with the Sun mold, with the extra large inlay here, 7.7, 7.8. So roughly 8 grams, very light. That's similar to the Jack RHC. I don't know if they were under GPI's ownership. GPI, I think that's the name of the company. But these are very similar in weight, the 2 and the 25. Let's put those next to each other. Is that in shot? All right. And then this is the promotional no mold. They stopped making these. And these weigh about the same, so roughly 8. And the Grand Card Room, this is a fun flame set, flame mold, BCC commercial set. And this weighs 9.5, so very similar to the top hat and cane. So interesting in weight. And my understanding is these should all be very similar in width and thickness. Yes, this is metal. Yes, it's going to put wear and tear on my chips, and I don't care. So doing this for you, everybody. All right, let's start with some casino Paulsons here. The Beau Rivage is 39 millimeters. The Jack Cincy, 39.18, so very close. Again, very close to that 39 millimeter. All right, those are the Paulson casinos. Let's make sure we're zeroed here. Plus or minus 0.02 millimeters. All right. 39. Promotional chips. 39. Actual casino BCC. Right there at, roughly 39. All right. So kind of what we expected. Now, when it comes to feel of the chips, this is one of those really opinionated things where people might be able to, I can hear the difference between these obsolete Horseshoe Cleveland and these Grand Card Room. They sound a little different. These sound a little bit brighter. These sound a little bit duller, which kind of almost gives them more of a plasticky sound. So, do I have a preference? They both sound really good. They both sound like casino chips. They both feel like casino chips. They both have a good weight to them. It doesn't matter if it's these or the more modern ones. Let's get the Beau Rivage out of there. I mean, it's just, they feel so good. Actually, these sound pretty similar. There is a little difference there, though. So When it comes to preferences, do I have a preference? No, I don't. I'm very happy with Paulson chips, and I'm very happy with blue chip company chips, the BCC chips. I like the molds. I think the molds are more interesting, and I'm kind of more of a collector than maybe like a hoarder. So I'm not looking just to buy tons and tons of THC mold chips. Personally, I like the house molds more on chips because those are the casinos that I like and enjoy. And so why would I not just go with something like that? Does that make sense? As kind of more of a collector when I'm talking about obsolete Paulson chips. If I were putting together a set of 5,000 chips and I was going to play them, yeah, I might be searching for THC, and I get the appeal, especially with like wear and tear and stuff. But there is something nice about having some original, like these. It seems like they sell tons of these all over eBay, Poker Chip Forum. These always seem like they're on sale. Does that make sense? The Paulson THC, the RHC mold. Whereas the BCC chips seem a little less common. It seems like, and this is just my opinion, this is just how it feels. There's no empirical data to support this. But it feels like for every one BCC sale I see, there are like 10 Paulson RHC or THC mold sales. That's just how it feels. And then, there's a lot of individual casino sales with their house mold. And there are a lot of casinos out there with the house mold. So let me know your thoughts. Do you have a preference and why? That's my question. Obviously for promotional chips, that was the only option. Now it no longer is an option, so I might as well remove that. So ultimately, if I had to choose the preference of manufacturer, the name, whether it's blue chip or Paulson, doesn't matter so much as the name on the chip. Beau Rivage, for example, is a Steve Wynn property, and I love the Steve Wynn design, the simplicity. It's almost, I don't know, I took art history, but I don't remember that much of it. It's almost like Bauhaus, where it was like function before fashion. We want white, we want blue. That's a 1, easy to read, done. Some branding there. Where some other chips, go a little further with like branding and decorating, putting all this flourish on here, all this embellishment. It's like there's this red like design on here with these little like sunflower with these flower things here on a sun mold. You see where I'm going with this? I just really like the simplicity of the Wynn design, which reminds me of that, early century modernism. Is it mid-century modernism? Whatever. Am I thinking 40s? What? Anyway, 40s and 50s. So to me, these are some of my favorites. The Bellagio has a great style to it as well. The Steve Wynn properties generally have some of my favorite chips. The Mirage also had some fabulous chips. So to me, that's more important. Like I really loved a guy like Garden City too, because they had unique colors and they had it was like a poker room and they had all interesting denominations. So Garden City is fabulous as well. But am I going to choose one over the other just on, well, this one's a Paulson or this one's a blue chip? No, I don't think I would. And you can see the kind of the wear patterns as well. Let me show you. Now this might matter to somebody, but to me, not really. So you can see here, it looks like there are all these little nicks on it. And where there are nicks, you can see like it changes color where these little, I don't know if I want to call these flea bites, but where there are little nicks here. Like plastic, when you ding plastic, it can leave like a white scar in the plastic. Whereas when you look at Paulson THCs, like these are some older President Casino on the Admiral. These, don't seem to have that same issue. Yeah, it looks like there's some whitening here, but it's not as splotchy as the blue chip, as the BCC chips are. And again, I don't know if that's interesting to anybody else, but to me, these feel more plasticky, for lack of a better word. Not that these don't, they just feel like they're more dense. Probably because they are, because these older ones weigh more. I might as well weigh them now that I'm talking about them. I was trying to avoid these old THC molds, but they should be the same as the modern. They should be, right? Lead content might make a difference. Yep, 10 grams. So they do weigh more. Half a gram more. Both the same mold. However, the material... Oh no, now that one's coming in at 10 grams. Wasn't that 9.5 last time I weighed it? One of them was like 9.6 or 9.7. Anyway, so very similar. Excuse me. So, yeah, I don't have a preference. I mean, I'm happy to collect both. If it comes to playing a game, you know, which one would I rather have? Oh, that's a tough call. These Grand Card Room are some of my favorite hot stamps ever. I could use an obsolete, I guess, Garden City. I'm leaning, just because I'm exposed to so many chips, I'm leaning towards the BCC chips. So if I had to pick one for a game that I was building a set of used chips, whether they be consumer grade or whether they be casino chips, I would choose BCC. Just because it's a little bit different. Why not? That's just my opinion right now. It's going to change next week. Watch, I'll make a video in a month and everybody was going to call me up. But you said you like BCC chips more. Yeah, for now. We'll see how that works out. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Sway me. Convince me that BCC chips aren't that cool or that original or that unique or that scarce. All right, well, looking forward to reading your comments. I just like chips. I want to show you as many as possible here for the holidays. Get everybody all psyched out. And genuinely, there are patrons, but Tommy is a patron for Poker Chip Forum, so his name is going to appear here in a second. But genuinely, if you're looking for information about poker chips, I would recommend going to Chip Guide. It's like, I forget exactly who hosts it, but go to Chip Guide, get some interesting information about obsolete casino chips, and get on pokerchipforum.com. Those are two great sources for casino and consumer grade chips. I'm just going to throw all these in here. Anything else that you guys want to see? Have some more horseshoe something. HSI, Southern Indiana. And let me know your thoughts. You should be able to read the name on all of these. Horseshoe Southern Indiana. These are Horseshoe Cincinnati, Horseshoe Cleveland. The President Casino on the Admiral. This is Missouri, I think. Garden City Casino, San Jose, California. Jack Cincinnati. This is a promotional chip. My own personal promotional chip. Beau Rivage in Mississippi. Oh, we already have those. Whatever. Garden City Casino, Jack Cincy, and Grand Card Room. These were consumer grade hot stamp BCC flame molds. Fire mold? Flame mold? Whatever. So, special thanks to my patrons for your support. Hope you all have a wonderful holiday. If you would like to support us on Patreon, I do post a couple times a month. I post a picture or a video, a little update about what's going on here in the studio or with my production schedule. You can also support this channel by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I have some poker selection, some poker items listed there. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.